What we're going to make today is going to be baked ziti. It's going to be sausage and spinach based. And I will put in the description all the proportions of everything included to make this dish. I would say the complexity level of this is somewhere between beginner and medium. If you're somebody who works in the kitchen a lot, you can pretty much make this with ease. What you'll need is 2 cups of chopped peppers. There are red, yellow, green peppers and a sweet onion. You'll need 1 cup of parmesan grated, 1 cup of mozzarella grated. You will need, this can be bought in a store, the ricotta cheese. And it says here it's made with skim milk. That's the key to when you're baking it. Do not buy whole milk ricotta. It was about 900 grams you'll need. Now, the sausage. This is a sweet Italian sausage. And the question is, can this be made with regular sausage, Italian sausage, or, you know, can it be done with spicier sausage? Of course. This is a taste thing. I prefer the sweet. Organic baby spinach, which can be bought in any produce section of your store. This is the key ingredient to my ziti, is finely chopped baby spinach. Semolina cavatappi pasta. Now, the sauce is very key. You can make it yourself, but let's say you didn't have time. What I do is I buy Italian sauce and pizza sauce and combine them. They're properly seasoned for this dish. And the amounts you'll need is, this is 28 ounces or almost 800 grams. And the pizza sauce is 425 grams or 15 ounces. Now, if you're going to do this from tomato sauce, what you will need is a half a teaspoon, one of these, of the oregano, the basil, and Italian seasoning. For the cheese sauce, which I make, is the Emerald's essence. But basically, it is a steak seasoning. And of course, garlic salt. These are your prime ingredients you'll need, along with 3 eggs, which we will beat with this. And that's the basis and the base ingredients of what is needed to do this dish. Looks like a lot of stuff, but really it breaks down into 3 areas. You got your meat, your sauce, and your cheese, along with your pasta. It will all go into a 10 by 14 dish that will be baked at 350 degrees for a little under an hour. And that's what we have. So let's get started. Okay, so what I've done is I've uncanned our tomato products and put them in here. Let's go on over here and check the sausage. And as you can see, it's cooking. Now what you do is with the spatula, now that it's got a little bit of heat, you want to chop your sausage up and turn the heat down now that it's up to temperature. Now the question is, do you lid it or unlid it? And the best way to cook sausage, once you've broken it down, is to fry it unlidded. You want air. Okay, we're going to let that cook for a few minutes. Now, our sauce. What you want to do is whiten the top with some garlic salt. And add the peppers. In with your sauce. And this can start to simmering while your sausage is cooking. And you want to do this on a low heat. Tomato-based sauces scorch pretty easy. And we're going to go ahead and trap some heat to start this out. As long as it's ventilated, we're fine. Okay, so now we got that going. Now we're going to work on our cheese sauce. Okay, so the sausage, if you observe here, it's sweating. And this is when, about halfway through its cooking cycle, you want to take your spatula and chop. And what you want is, it doesn't have to be broken down into fine particles, but you don't want huge chunks either. So you just go in a chopping motion, you go straight down. And once I have it to where it's broken up at this stage, I can now lid it and let the heating cycle continue to where it's finished. Now, does sausage have to be fully cooked for this dish? And the answer is no, because what you want to do is extract as much of the grease from it, from the oils from the sausage as you can, and the cooking, the baking will continue to cook it. But you want as much of these oils out of the sausage as you can get. And you want it firmed up. And that's it. Our sausage is pretty much done. What you look for, if there's any pink, any raw looking pieces, which there are not because this is done on a low to medium heat, it actually cooks fast when you break it down like this. And all we have to do, because it's lean and there's not a whole lot of oil in it, we can just move it with the spatula. And you don't want to dump it in so that the oils from the frying pan go into the dish. You want this to be a somewhat lean deal. Go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this together. And our sauce is, as it's simmering, all these flavors will infuse together, and this will be our sauce. All you do is let this cook. Once you've added your sausage to it, another 5 minutes. That's it. The baking will finish the cooking process. So, there we go. Okay, so what you want to do with your spinach is when it's being chopped, you want to do it in strips like this. And you got to use a very sharp knife to properly cut the spinach. Spinach is tougher than it looks. And this is really where a lot of the work is actually in the spinach. So. Okay, so what we have here is our cheese sauce, which will be blended in with our tomato-based sausage gravy. And right now I am heating up water to cook the pasta. What this has is ricotta, a cup of spinach, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of steak seasoning, and it has a little bit of oregano. Also added to it are 3 whipped eggs. And what you do with your spinach is you cut it into strips, as I showed earlier. All this gets blended into here, and then everything will be put into a single bowl and mixed up, and I'll be showing that here in a few minutes. But that's your cheese sauce. This is a really good, excellent cheese sauce that can be used for lasagna. It can also be done if you like a spinach-based manicotti. You could even go that route, stuffing manicotti shells with that. So that's done. All waiting on now is our pasta, and then we can get that going. Okay, what I want to show you is the type of Italian seasoning you should use. If you can find one that comes from a grinder, this is really the better quality Italian seasoning. You can grind it yourself. There is a flavor difference between the grindable with the adjustable grinder and the kind that comes out of, let's see if I have an example of that, which is this. A lot of people buy that, and it's okay, but it gets stale and loses flavor rather quickly over time. These, for some reason, do not, and I have to believe it's just a higher quality, but the grinder definitely helps. And that's a tip I wanted to show you on what kind of the best Italian seasoning there is. Okay, our sauce is nearly done simmering. It took the 10 minutes. Okay, Tim, come here a minute and sample that and tell me what you think.
It's pretty good.
Is it properly seasoned?
Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. That's it. All right, so what we're doing now is our pasta is going, and you want to go unsalted, unoiled, just basic filtered water. You don't want it like a rapid boil. You want the water just under boiling, and you want to stir your pasta quite a bit. You want it to break up. You do not want clumping. You have to cook this for about, I always recommend, once your water's up to temperature, 5 minutes. And then what we're going to do is get our oven going. Get the heat shield out. And we'll let the oven preheat because we're close to putting this in the pan and putting all the ingredients together. Okay, so our pasta is basically blanched. And one of the questions people always have is, do you rinse pasta? In a dish like this, we are not going to rinse it. Cavatappi has a natural flavor, and what happens is when you rinse it, you're washing away all the natural flavors. And all you do is you notice the fluids coming out, and that's okay. We don't want it to be too liquidy. And you just do a little shake. That's about it. and water gets trapped into the openings, the cylindrical openings, and you can toss it if you want to get all the water out. You're going to let this sit for 5 minutes before we do our mixing. And that's all you do with the pasta. But if you rinse it, if you cook it too long, your dish will not come out right. And the consistency here is this is soft, but it's not mushy. And that's your pasta. Okay, so we are now ready to mix this together. First thing you want to do is take your tomato product, put it into your bowl, and we're going to scrape. And what I love about stainless is it does not stick. This is well worth the investment. Stainless pots and pans. Okay, so we got that. Now, we're going to take our cheese mix and go ahead and add that to our bowl. You want to taste something, Tim? Taste that cheese sauce. Just take your finger. Is that pretty good or what?
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take our pasta and dump that in. Now I need the large spoon. And what we're going to do is mix this all up. And what's nice is the cheese will melt from the heated pasta and the tomato. And you just keep stirring and it will begin to take shape. Now, a question you might have is, well, Stan, I don't have a huge stainless bowl. What else can I use? If you have a Dutch oven, a large pot, you can literally do your mixing in that. If you do, but you need something to do your mixing in. You can even use a kitchen bucket if you want. And if you notice, it's got the color. That cheese is melted. And look at that spinach. Oh yeah. That is real good. Exactly what we're looking for. Now, take our scraper and push everything in. Now, all of this will dump into here, like so. And it all fits into your pan. And it's okay if it's a little high. You can even it out. And then we're going to foil cover it. And I'm doing this to drive out any air pockets in it that might be in there. Then, shiny side down, we're going to foil cover it. Into the oven it goes for an hour. So we're going to set our timer 60 minutes. There we go. We're good to go. And that's it. Okay, so what we've done is, while it has been baking, I always like to make the suggestion to people, while you have the energy, go ahead and wash your pots and pans, get that done. So all that you're faced with after the meal is a few dirty dishes, and that is it. It is a simple, very non-stressful event to clean the kitchen up at that point. And I had nothing but time to do that while it was baking. And that's always a suggestion I made as a tip, to take time. That's how things stay cleaner longer. And it's nothing now after the meal to get ready for the evening. So that's what we got so far. Okay, so what we're doing is, we got it out of the oven. We're topping it now. This is totally optional, by the way. I'm using a 3 cheese blend of parmesan, mozzerella, and assaggio on top. And there you have it. That's the finished product. And we're going to plate it here soon. What you do is you let this set for 10 minutes. Okay, now we're ready for our plating. This is set for a few minutes. And you can see the consistency is there. It's moist. It's definitely cooked. And it is ready to consume. And this one's mine. And there you go.